All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we are going to take a look at the weed sector here. I'm going to do 4 on this one. I'm going to do Tilray, CGC, High Tide, and SNDL. You know, I love calling that one Sandal, okay? Dude, this was an interesting day to say the least on Tilray, all right? You know, doesn't matter what the ticker is. One thing I always say is the day after the doji is generally very, very telling. We went back-to-back dojis, and then I know it doesn't look like a big day, but yeah, that's not the candle I was expecting here, all right? So, interesting day on Tilly. I'm not sure if we're going to get more. Hopefully we do. Maybe we see a 244, but again, we'll talk about that in a little bit, okay? CGC had an interesting day. I know I saw it pushing near 10%, and then I think I saw it drop all the way down to like 2%. I'm not exactly sure where it closed, but I don't know if the high of the day was able to hold, and that had me a little... It sparked my interest. I didn't think I saw enough news. I saw something about the EU. Look, I say this with all due respect. There are a lot of Europeans on the Discord group, and you know who you are. I love you guys, right? But hey, end of the day, dude, it's sad, right? But like, this is an America-centric world that we're unfortunately in, all right? And I think that there's more headline pop with a US something than an EU something, all right? So I'll talk about that a little bit more later, and then, yeah, I for real have no idea what Sandal and High Tide look like. I hope they're crushing it. I'm assuming a Sandal will look like this, SNDL. High Tide, I hope you guys are crushing it. I have no idea. So before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time is super appreciated, all right? So let's get into it. And Tilray, look, there's a rhyme that I'm telling you my viewers love hearing, all right? Break all 5 moving averages and you will fly. Lose all 5 moving averages and you will die, all right? Tilray on this day decides to go under all 5 moving averages, all right? A doji never counts as confirmation. It never does. Again, it doesn't matter what the ticker is. It's a rule you'll hear me say. I always say, though, the day after the doji is super telling, and what did we get? Another doji. Doji doesn't count, all right? We gotta wait one more, and this is what we get, okay? What's interesting is this is actually starting to climb into this. Look, this day closes at 212, the green number at the top. We are at $2.13 right here, right? So I know it's only a penny, but I'll take a penny up, right? And there's a little bit of reason for me to believe that we might be coming to 219. Are we gonna get over 219? I don't know, all right? It's hard to get over a single line, let alone 2, all right? But that's a nice little red. The other good thing I want to show this is the SPX is starting to make a nice little move, all right? We were worried that this thing was going to go below the 200 and fall. Again, doesn't matter if it's an index or a weed stock. Break all 5 and die, lose. Break all 5 and fly, lose all 5 and die, right? So I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad it went up. And I know a lot of people don't like talking about the S&P 500 because weed stocks are their own thing and blah, blah, blah. No, all right? When the market recovers, so do stocks. And I wish this was actually going up a little bit more. Like, this is a little bit behind the S&P 500 recovery, but I'll take it. What does the Dow Jones look like? I'll be honest, I actually don't know, and that's embarrassing. Yeah, again, same thing, right? That's that. They've all been making it since like this, early October. Tilray, a little bit behind, right? Like, we still kind of kept going down. So, maybe we'll recover a little bit. Maybe that'll help us get over this. Again, there's a lot of green, red, green, green, red, red, red. Like, I think there's a decent reason to believe 240. okay? There is. I'm kind of making a quick, very, very cavalier assumption that 120 is going to jump, right? Like that is a hard wall, okay? If we get over this and if it flies quickly here, that's going to be a very hard 3 line to get over. All right, you got the 20, which is a no-joke line, the 50, which is a no-joke line, and the 200, which is the last one for a reason, all right? So hopefully we can make a move to the 240s. I think expecting more might be a little too ambitious, all right? We're still in the negative on the MACD. RSI is kind of creeping up a little bit, but I don't know if it's just going to kind of come back to where we've been around the 60, right? And then really volume's been a lot of bad instead of good, right? So I think it's a little early to assume good. I think it's hopefully going to make up for the week delay on this recovery. And yeah, I don't know if I'm being too cavalier assuming $2.20 is gonna break as easy. Again, look at this, right? The weekly is very close. The weekly is kind of giving us a reason to say maybe 250. I still think 250 might be a little too aggressive given what we see here. Maybe we could like wick that 250. Maybe we'll like wick over those, but I don't think we're gonna get over that red one right there. So look, Tilray very, very easily could have come down to $1.70. Like I started the video with, I'm surprised it didn't, actually, all right? Bad loss of all the moving averages. Dojis don't count, but that's not a great doji. Dojis don't count, but that's not a great doji. This is why dojis don't count. That's kind of the moral of the story right here, right? So a little momentary optimism is what I'll say. Again, that 220, I'm going to say it one more time. I don't know if I'm being too cavalier, but yeah, get over that, and I think we can get another 10% behind that. So let me zoom in. Let me know if you agree or disagree. You know I love hearing from you. Otherwise, let's move into CGC. Okay, let me start by first off apologizing to the Europeans that had to hear the first part of me kind of poo-pooing your region, as well as everyone else, actually, okay? I promise I'm not like an arrogant, snobby American, but in a lot of ways, I'm a very, 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 like, dumb American for sure, okay? I promise you I am. I saw something about an approval in the European Union, the EU, okay? I love the Europeans in my chart reader family, all right? There's a few of them. That said, I don't think the European approvals rock the market like an American approval would, okay? Now, is there any fact behind that? No. Is there a lot of ignorance behind that? Yeah. Is that what I sincerely believe? Yeah, it is, all right? And, you know, I saw this thing make a nice pop. It was like easy, a 10% move. At the point I was looking, maybe like 9. I don't know what it was, but it was close. And to see it drop, I think is a little indicative of what I kind of thought with the EU. The one thing I want to say is when I was covering CGC on the last video, I did say it should be really hard to lose these 2 lines. Now, I would have loved a little bit of a stronger bounce up instead of this relatively flat horizontal stay on it. Like when I generally say it should be hard to lose the lines, there's kind of a, I'm assuming it's going to bounce up kind of, you know, hint behind it, right? And it kind of looked like it. It quickly decided to say no. I'm glad we didn't go below them, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'm a little surprised we're not in the 90-cent world already, actually, you know? The 2 lines did their job, but they only did half the job, right? Like being a support line is an important thing that these moving averages can be. But for me, they're actually not like, this is a rocket point. You know what I mean? Like if you can hit this, this is where you're refueling the jet before you go up again, right? Like especially if there's multiple lines, right? So a little surprised, actually a little sad for sure. End of the day, it didn't lose the lines and you can't be that mad at it, okay? I did flash this on the Tilray. If this is repetitive, I do apologize. But the S&P 500 as well as the Dow Jones have actually been a lot more uptrendy than the weed sector has been. And that's a little surprising because we are actually almost a full week lag on these 2 stocks at least, right? So That does have me a little bit concerned, but maybe the possibility of, oh man, I can't believe we're a week late, let's try to catch up really quickly, might hit here. Okay, so I saw the EU news. I don't think it meant too much. I'm more looking at a how do I say this, at a not exactly taken advantage of moment. I could have said that so much smarter. That was dumb. I snorted right there. Where are we on the weekly? Look, we're under the 8. We're at least holding the 20. We are downtrending though, right? We're clearly well below that uptrend line as well. So I didn't even think I even saw. Oh, I did. It was right. I don't think I even mentioned this thing at all. Do I even delete this? Yeah, I think I'm going to delete this. What do we need that for now? Let's get rid of that bad boy. Yeah, I think that's it on CGC. Let me know if you have different thoughts or opinions. Otherwise, I appreciate hearing from you all the time, all right? Let's come into High Tide, HITI. Damn, that's not what I wanted to see. Damn. All right, look, talked about this line being a bad rejection. I remember flashing NVOS and remembering that right there. That's not what I wanted to see with High Tide at all. Actually, we have now slipped below the 8 and the 20. We unfortunately lose the 8, go to the, because once you're overall 5, right, you lose the 8, you'll drop to the 20, you lose the 20, you drop to the 50. That's pretty much what happened in that week span right there. Yeah, the 50s, I mean, at least trying to hold it. But yeah, this is actually far more disappointing than anything. At the minimum, look, I'm going to zoom out and say this, okay? We have now been over the 200 moving average for a relatively long time, all right? And obviously, we would have loved to continue and continue and continue. I know I was kind of hinting a little bit at $3 on one of the last videos. I'm not going to pretend I wasn't, all right? I want to stress how critical it will be to just not go below the purple line, all right? There are other stocks that we just covered that are well below it, and it's a little sad and this and that, but High Tide has actually held pretty nicely. And as sad as I am that it didn't continue, as sad as I am that this was a bad rejection, as sad as I am that the lines did the line thing, for lack of words, I'm at least trying to still keep a little bit of optimism of this 200. Stay above it. Man, I literally just talked about it on CGC. Like, this 200 could be the rocket point back up if it actually holds it. If it goes below it, oh, that's going to be so bad. It actually will. But hopefully the 50 can get this back over the 8. If we can get back over the 8, maybe we'll go here. I think at this point it's going to be a little bit hard to get over the 20 moving average. That is a little bit of a hard wall in my opinion. MACD is actually still trying to stay positive. The negative slope is kind of trying to flatten, but it seems like it's going to slip below. Like, I don't think we'll go below this. If I had to say, I kind of think we're going to come down to it, but I think we'll hit this and then hopefully go up a little bit. I don't think we're going to get over the 8 moving average. We really, I keep repeating it, like the sector is lagging on the indices. The Dow Jones and the S&P have been doing well and these haven't. So like that's disappointing to say the least. There's not too much more to say here. That was a bad rejection right there. That is really what it was. And look, you can kind of see it. It was kind of off the weekly, and hey, we don't actually, I wish we touched it so I can at least say like, hey, at least we touched the line before we went down. This is an annoying one. Again, there's strength here at 142 on the weekly. There's strength here at 140 on the daily. That should be a pretty hard point to lose, which at least goes back to, hey, maybe High Tide's at a place where it has taken the 200 moving average at least. And that alone is a very positive thing, you know, but this is just a little sadder than ideal for sure. Yeah, again, I can't really tell if I want to say that this is going to come up to 170 or like, this one's a tough one. I feel like I didn't provide a lot of value on this, and I do apologize. Sorry, this one's a disappointing one. There's nothing else I can say, all right? Okay, SNDL. SNDL, I've been saying it for what feels like a month now. SNDL has essentially been mimicking Tilray. The lines don't quite add up exactly the same, but in a lot of ways, the candle patterns are. This thing goes up with Tilray, down with Tilray, kind of holding right here, right? So today we saw a good day instead of losing all five. Tilray had lost all five a couple days ago, but didn't confirm. I mean, the two are really, really staying relatively hand in hand, okay? The issue I'm seeing here is, again, there's a little bit more bad than good right now, right? MACD is in the negative. I can't really tell if the RSI wants to recover or if it's really just kind of trying to come back to where it usually is before it goes down again. And then again, volume's just been a little bit rough to say the least, you know. It's going to be hard to get over these two lines. The exact same thing I said about Tilray, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like the lines are a little bit in a different positioning, but yeah, getting over the 50 and the 200 is going to be really difficult. Like, there's barely any juice on this to even say it's worth the squeeze. Yeah, and there's for sure a downtrend that looks like it's being lost right now. Let me take it from here to there. Right, I'm basically going from this corner to that corner all the way through. I think that's the trend line to hold. I think if we go further away, it'll be bad. Obviously, if we lose the 100 moving average, we'll be below all five. You know it, lose all five and die, right? So I feel like, oops, don't click that. I feel like there's more things telling me I want to come to 150 than there are telling me I want to go up to 190. I think that's kind of the wall and the ceiling, though. I don't think it'll go much lower than 150. I don't think it'll come to this 140. But I also don't think it's going to get much higher than 190. I think it's going to struggle to get with this the 20 moving average. So, hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, you know it. I appreciate you so, so much.